first of all, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, Shalom, good morning, blessings. May the blessings of the divine that you believe in be upon you. I always tell people that Sindhis have all religions. We Sindhis are Hindus, Sindhis are Muslims, Sindhis are Sikhs, Sindhis are Christians, Sindhis are Jews. Very few people know that this city of Karachi was designed by a Jewish Sindhi architect. It is unfortunate that they are not here anymore. But whatever we are, first and foremost, we are Sufis. And as Sufis, we believe that this whole universe is nothing more than a manifestation of love. Our young girl, she spoke of Shah and the love that he describes for yogis. I like to start with a verse of Shah Latif that describes love, and then we can take it from there. So Shah saying, Kavar Padu Patara me Bivir Bire Akas Bini Sadi Galadi Razika Andi Ras Te Ishka Ke Shabas Je Mohabati Media. So to try to translate this is what Shah is saying is that the lotus grows with roots deep in the water. The bee flies up in the air. The story of their union, the story of their love, written and ordained by the Creator. The Razik is the Creator, the one who provides for everybody. Teishka ke Shabas, Je Mohabati Media. He says, praiseworthy is the love that brings us together. And this is what it is. This hall today, filled with 100 plus, 200 plus people, is a manifestation of love. We're all here out of love for our motherland, for our language, for our people, for our land. So first of all, and I always tell people that love always unites us. Hate always divides us. The fact that and love is what helps us rise above our biological basic needs of hunger, of self-preservation. Love is what teaches you to give back. Love is what makes you a better human being and gets you closer to the divine. So you, all of you, by being here, have already elevated yourself. So thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate everybody being here. My special gratitude to Consul General Malden. I know he's a very busy gentleman, and his staff for being here. Thank you very much. My most sincere gratitude to Shah Saab. He's the most gracious host. Every time I'm here, he treats us like royalty. Thank you very much. And we are blessed. There are very few scholars, and it's not because Parvez Hudbai is here, but in this atmosphere of intellectual suffocation, there are very few people who have the courage to speak up, and he is my hero. I'm one of his greatest fans. He doesn't know this, but I think I've seen every video, every speech, and every interview of his. So it is my personal, it's a day that I'll remember for the rest of my life that he's here. We're joined here by members of our Executive Council. I request them to please get up. Asghar Pathan, who is the Vice President of US from Houston. We have with us Adi Shahida Sheikh, the Vice President of Women from Toronto. We have Ali Khaskheli, the Joint Secretary of SANA. And then we have members, chairs of committees. We have Saint Zafar Agha, who's been running our program for scholarship for 20 years. We have our friend, Saint Kolachi Saab, who's a member of our bylaws committee here. He's here from Toronto. And one of the, just to add to Ada Waleed's start, there are a lot of things that I personally am proud of SANA, but what I'm most proud of SANA is its democratic traditions. Today, you're going to meet 3 ex-presidents of SANA. Each one of them served for 4 years. Today, they are willingly sitting here in the audience. So hats off to them. So I've already introduced Ada Walid. The next one is going to be Ada Sunny Pawar. I don't know if he's here. He's going to be moderating the session. And then we have what I describe as one of the greatest icons of Sindhi nationalism, a personal hero of mine, Sai Iqbal Tareen Sahab, an ex-president of Sana. So this is, if you want to know, those people who ask what is Sana, this is Sana. Sana is Iqbal Tareen, Sana is Walid Sheikh, Sana is Sunny Pawar, Sana is everybody who's here. I'm not going to take a lot of your time. I'll introduce, people ask, that the common question is asked, what has Sana done? And what is Sana? I'm just going to, in a few minutes, just give you an introduction of what Sana is and what we have done and what we want to do and why are we here today. So Sana is a non-profit organization that is registered in the USA as a charitable organization and also in Canada. Sana was incorporated, I think, in 1984, if I'm correct. So this is the 40th year of Sana. We've been holding annual conventions every year, except maybe the year of COVID that we did not. So in fact, that's the other pitch that I like to maybe throw out there. Next year, the weekend of July 1st, we'll have our 40th annual convention of Sana in the beautiful city of Calgary, Canada. You're all invited. Please make plans to come and join us. You can go online to our website. It is sanaonline.org, and you can register. We welcome everybody. On the average, we get about 800, 900, maybe 1,000 people there. People come from all over the world, and we welcome everybody. But going back to what has Sana done, as a community organization with limited resources, what I want people to know is that Sana, we don't get any grants. We don't get unlimited checks from anybody. Sana's human and financial capital is our members only. And maybe that is one of the knocks on Sana, is that we have not been able to rise. We have not been able to get out of that little shell that we should be writing grants. We should be getting financial aid from somewhere else. But that's a discussion we can have. But based on those, for the last 40 years, I would divide Sana's activities into three main categories. The first and foremost is community building. So by us being here, by us gathering these Sindhis here, we are building a community. And we've been doing it in North America, both in Canada and in the US, with our annual conventions. We have chapters in Canada and the US, from Edmonton to Calgary to Toronto to New York to Chicago, Washington, D.C., Houston, Dallas, many more. And these chapters get together and have their own local conventions. We help new immigrants who come to America and Canada we have a professional development committee, we have an education development committee that's all part of community building. The second thing that we do is our charitable work. Whatever limited funds we have, we give back. We have the crown jewel of our charitable work is a program called the FAME Fund, our Feroz Ahmed Memorial Education Fund, where we give about 50 to 100 now, maybe almost this year we'll end up giving almost 200 scholarships to needy students here in Sindh. And I am thrilled. One of the people that you're going to be hearing from, maybe two people, are a young man and a young woman who have graduated on scholarships provided to them from Sana, and now they are working with multinational companies. They're going to share their success stories. And they are now willing to give back. So you want to know what Sana has done? I think that by itself, producing a generation that wants to give back, is much more than most of the organization can talk about. So charity, and then anytime there's floods here, we built almost 250 homes after the floods 2 years back. And anytime there are disasters like COVID, we do everything to help them. So that's the second part, which is the charitable work. The third part, which we kind of sometimes lacks, is the advocacy. And this is very common. In America, all community, America's, both US and Canada, are a melting pot of ethnicities from all over the world. We have people who come from every part of the world, and these groups come together to advocate for their rights. And people, when we do that, when we go into advocacy, sometimes people blame us of getting too political. But I always tell people that there's a difference between political activism, political activity, and political advocacy. See, political activism is when you go out and you demonstrate on the streets, when you mobilize the masses. We don't do that. We've never done it. We don't want to do that. That's not our role. Political activity is when you field candidates for elections. We're not a political party. We cannot do that. We'll never do that. Political advocacy, sometimes people have a problem quite comprehending what political advocacy is, especially in a country where the political system is not very established or trusted. But in a country like America or Canada, where we have an established political system, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. What you do is that you go to people that you've already elected and talk to them about the issues that are important to you. So they are there to represent you. So political advocacy is part and parcel of Sana. In fact, every community organization does in America and will continue to do this. And this gathering today is part of that. Living 10,000 miles away across the globe, when we hear about tragedies that are happening to our motherland, it literally causes us to be physically ill. When we hear about human rights being violated, when we hear about young boys being taken away in the middle of the night and tortured in torture cells and forced to disappear, it hurts us. When we hear about lands being taken away from Sindh, it hurts us. When we see our heritage, our culture, our language being destroyed, it hurts us. And we cannot be like Nero, who's going to play the flute while Rome burns. We have to stay involved, and we have to speak up. And when we see Sindh, which I personally think is the most resourceful federating unit of this country, Sindh has the largest coastline, the busiest seaports. It has the business hub of the country in Karachi. It has the richest agricultural fields. It has the world's largest mangrove forests. It has some of the largest land forests. But still, we are the lowest in human development indexes. Then the question must be asked, why? Is it our responsibility? Is it our outdated medieval, agrarian feudal system which is not allowing us to develop a middle class that can take us forwards? The world has moved from an agrarian-based society to an industrial-based society to a digital society. We're still stuck in plowing with cows and with bulls. Is it us? If that is the case, we need to start a process of truth and atonement. We need to atone to our own faults. We need to have some introspection. We need to move forward. And if that's not the case, other scenario is that are we legally now defined as an indigenous people and a local community? Because an indigenous people and a local community is defined as people who identify with an area and are descendants of that people of that area who are in a minority in their own land. And if that is the case, the world is waking up to the rights of IPLCs. Is it time for us to seek those rights as an IPLC? These are the questions, they're very tough questions that need to be asked and that need to be answered. And I'm glad we have some of the greatest scholars. As I said, we have Parvez Hudbhai Sahab. We have Kaisar Bengali Sahab here. Every time I hear Kaisar Bengali Sahab, 1,000 bulbs come on, and he opens my mind to things that I could otherwise never imagine. So when people say, why are you here? What are you doing here? Again, I like to just recite Shah Latif. Shah Sahin Chadod ke oda bi dur ke dur po oda supri ke chadan na chitte ke visran na mur ji ambe kundi tur tiyan dost warako dilte. So the idea is, Shah says, there was some maybe close to you but very far. Others may be far but still wrapped around your heart. Sindh is always wrapped around our heart, no matter where we go, and that will never let go. So that is the reason we are here And we want to start a dialogue. I know we're not going to solve our problems today, but want to at least start a dialogue, a process of truth and atonement that we can carry forward, where we first and foremost hold ourselves responsible. And then we hold those responsible who have taken the right of governance from us. Because if we do not have the governed to right ourselves, we will lose the right to exist also. So thank you very much. I just want to end with one of Sheikh Ayas's verses. Sheikh Ayas says that ka jhirmir jhirmir jugnu ji, ka tim 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 tare ji, gangor ghata jo ghero a, kenje tasahare vendasi. So this is what we are going to do. That is the whole idea of starting this today. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adani.